In the last couple of months, I've introduced you guys to a number of different AI tools that you can use for very different stages of academic writing. Now, of all of these tools, I think the most powerful ones are the ones that really help to enhance your writing and the ones that you use when it comes to proofreading and actually editing your work towards the very end and perfecting it and making it sound academically amazing. Now, in the past, I've kind of just touched upon the tools and I've showed you how you can maybe use it, but in today's video, I'm going to be doing a deep dive into Paperpal. Now, Paperpal is an AI tool that allows you to do a number of different things to your text. So it allows you to not only paraphrase, make it sound more academic, there's also a brand new feature, which is the Copilot. And with the Copilot, you can generate text, you can generate outlines, abstract, improve your titles, and do so much more. So in today's video, I'm going to be going through exactly how I would do it with some text. So I'm going to be using an actual essay that's the sort of first draft that hasn't been perfected yet, and I'll be showing you how I would use Paperpal to help me take this essay from, I would say it's probably around 50 to kind of high 50s, low 60%, to get it to a point where it sounds a lot more academic. So let's get started. Okay, so you can actually use Paperpal in two different ways. The first way that you can use it is using the web version. So you can just log on to Paperpal and use it online on the website. Personally, I like to integrate it into my Microsoft Word using the word add-in. And so when you do that, this is what it would look like. So this is a blank document now. I haven't written my essay yet. And when you add it into your Microsoft Word software, you'll see it kind of pop up over here on the right hand side, and you can say open Paperpal. Now this just sets it up for you and you can use this every single time, and it's all linked up and connected to your main account. So as you can see here, we open up, we have a number of different kind of prompts. We have language, so this would, if I had some text here, this would give me corrections for that text. We have synonyms, so we can get more academic synonyms. We can translate our text to other languages, and we also have consistency checks. So I've used these guys in the past, but let's see what the Copilot is about. So this is where I'm really excited to check out. So we have the rewriting, so you can paraphrase, you can trim, or you can make it more academic. That would be interesting. I can't wait to try that out. Or you can generate text. So this is where Paperpal has introduced something really new. So you can either generate outlines for an essay, statement of purpose. Okay, that's interesting. You can get a title based on your text. So this would be really helpful. If you have your text written for you, you can generate a title. You can generate an abstract. Again, I think this is really cool. We're going to try this out and test it out, see how good it actually is. Keywords, summary, study highlights. And you can even email the journal and ask it to write a cover letter and things like that. And then last bit is asking. So you can ask Paperpal some advice when it comes to brainstorming ideas or understanding like the structure of how to write an essay or like how to lay out a presentation and things like that. So, okay, I want an outline for an essay. I'm going to say a 1,000 word essay about neuroplasticity, about the dynamic brain's adaptive power. So that was a question title that I had been given by my lecturer. So that's what I want to generate. So let's see. If I press generate, let's see what comes up. Okay. Ooh. So it hasn't just given me an outline, it's also broken it down into subsections, which is really interesting. So it hasn't just said introduce the topic, it said, okay, give a definition, the importance. I always say this to students, make sure that you mention the importance of your topic and an overview. Amazing. What is neuroplasticity? Define it, different types of it, how does it work in the brain, the power of it, challenges. Okay, so I'm going to copy this. So you can really see here, there's a really good outline. So let's say I was starting to write my essay. The first place I would begin is to try to get some sort of an outline to understand where I have to do a bit more reading and like where I need to get some kind of literature and some examples for me to discuss and things like that. So this is a really good start, and it's a good place for me to begin. Okay, so now that I've done that, I can say, let me begin to do a bit of reading. So I'd go off, I'd do some reading, I would then try to like get as much information as I can, and then I'd actually start to write my essay. So once I've written my essay, let's just get the essay that I've written. Okay, so I've written the essay. As you can see, I've written it based off of the outline. So this is a little while later. And now I need to actually do the editing. So as you can see, the first thing that I'm going to try to figure out is make sure the language is all good, make sure there's no spelling mistakes, no grammar mistakes. So I'm going to wait for this to kind of check everything. And you can clearly see that there actually are quite a lot of mistakes. So the human brain with an intricate, is a complex, exactly. So this is correct. It just makes it sound more academic. Yeah, so I'm just gonna accept all of these. And automatically my introduction just sounds that much better when the spelling and the grammar is cleaner. Now let's just focus on the introduction. So what I can do with the introduction is if I go to Copilot, I can say, like, maybe I'm not too big on this sentence here. I think the sentence is a little bit sloppy. It has too many comments. It's going back and forth a little bit. So what I'm going to say is, can you make it sound more academic? What this will do is it'll make it sound more academic. So it'll take this sentence here and it'll make it sound like it has been written by a journal or an academic paper, which is a lot better. So I'm going to say to replace that bit here. Now, as you can see, it has made it sound a bit longer as well. So it has expanded the number of words. So what it's done is it's separated this out into 2 sentences. So like I said, initially, I think it was a little bit sloppy and now it sounds much better. Do make sure that you are referencing everything. So wherever you got this information from, make sure that you add a reference. So I'm going to add a reference over here. Remind myself to add a reference over here. So when I come back and I'm doing the complete edit at the end, I can do that. Okay, I think I'm happy with the introduction now. I think it sounds a lot better. I just have to add my references and I'm all good. Now, when I go to the body, the main kind of part of my essay, there are some parts of it that I'm not too happy with. I think when I was writing this part here, I wasn't able to really paraphrase it correctly. And so when I wrote it, I'm pretty sure that this part here is copy and pasted from the original text. So I do need to paraphrase it. So I'm going to generate paraphrase using this tool here with the Copilot. And again, what you can see is it has really taken it out from this text and it has paraphrased it, and I'm going to say, can you replace it please? And it sounds, not only does it sound more academic, but it actually sounds a lot more original. And again, I'm going to remind myself to reference here too. So I would essentially go through this and keep on doing that. I'd keep on cleaning it up, making sure that it sounds good, making sure that it is academically sound, and adding my references, adding all the information that I need. And then what you can do is you can also, with the Copilot tool, is you can also trim. What I find sometimes is I personally think that these 2 paragraphs should be 1 paragraph. And I think that it's just a little bit too long. And I do have a word limit. So I'm going to say trim. And it's currently 134 words, but I want to take it down to about 100. So I'm going to say to trim, and let's see how it's able to cut it down. And the great thing about Paperpal's trim feature is that they can trim text without losing the definition and the meaning behind your initial text, which I think is amazing. Because sometimes you trim things down and you do lose what you're trying to say in the first place. So there you go. It has been trimmed down to 96 words, and we have not lost any of the meaning behind it. So that is a fantastic feature that I would highly recommend using if you're struggling with just getting to the point where you need to kind of meet your word limits. So now what I want to do is I've written out all my text. I want to generate a title. So I can use a title tool based on the text in my document that can suggest me a good title. So even though I have been given the title by my lecturer, I am also able to come up with my own title that sounds a lot better. And if you're in a situation where you haven't been given a good title, this is definitely a good way to use. So the title could be Unraveling the Mysteries of Neuroplasticity, an in-depth exploration. Okay, I'm not sure I like that. So let's regenerate. Okay, this sounds a lot better. A comprehensive review of its mechanism, significance, and implications for human life. Let me just put that here as an option, and let's regenerate to see if we can find another. Exploring the mechanism, significance, and implications of neuroplasticity. A comprehensive review. I think I prefer this first title, so I'm going to keep this one here. Now, the good thing about doing it like this is that you're able to figure out if there are titles that might suit your work a bit better. And the great thing about using the Copilot tool is it's able to search through what you've given, and it's able to pick out keywords. So mechanisms is what I've spoken about. I've spoken about the significance and the implications of it. So it's picked that up, put that into the title, and given the most relevant title based on your text. So that is fantastic. Sometimes you're also asked to write an abstract or a summary for your essay or for your academic writing. So I'm going to use both of them and see what the difference is, because I don't think it's very clear what the difference between an abstract is and a summary. So let's take a look. So I'm first going to start off with the abstract. Okay, so let's copy this abstract and say, this is the abstract, and then let's take a look at the summary. Okay, so this is the abstract and this is the summary. Now, I think they're quite similar and I think they're both quite powerful. I personally would actually use the summary as a bit of a conclusion. So when you're coming towards the end of writing a specific chapter or specific section, if you were to use the summary, this could be a hack actually. If you were to use a summary, you could probably get a really good conclusion for your text. So actually, I would probably pull this down and add it to my conclusion to conclude what I'm speaking about. So I think that's quite powerful. And then an abstract is a bit of an overarching discussion and a bit of a viewpoint into what is to come in the actual essay itself. Personally, for this essay, I don't need an abstract, so I wouldn't necessarily include it. But if you did have an essay or a report where you had like results and conclusions and more information, then you can definitely use an abstract. But I'm not going to use it here, but I think they are both really powerful and I would definitely use it if I needed it. Let's try and use a keywords one. I think it's going to pull out neuroplasticity, brain. There we go. Oh God. Yeah, love that. Okay, so neuroplasticity, neural network, brain, learning, memory, cerebral region, cognition, and rehabilitation. The great thing about, again, keywords is when you're searching for literature, you can use these keywords to help you find literature. But also, if I was thinking about a title and I was thinking about how I could get a really good title together, I should think about these keywords and make sure that I have these keywords embedded in a title. Lots of journals actually ask you for a set of keywords to describe your research, so it could be quite handy for that too. And then the last thing I want to do is I want to try to ask Paperpal, what is the most important to include in the conclusion of an essay? So I've asked it to, like, just a general question, what is important to include in a conclusion? And it's given me this really good point here. It said it's a good idea to end with a call to action or a thought-provoking question to leave the reader contemplating the ideas presented in the essay. This is a really good point, because when you're writing your conclusion, you don't want to kind of end the discussion there. You want them to keep on thinking about what it was you spoke about. So if you were to say something that gave them a question that maybe led to following work or led to them thinking and considering your work even more, then that is really powerful. So I like this. I really like this. So this is actually Ask Paperpal is a tool that you're able to use where you can try to get some advice on something, brainstorm ideas, or learn something. So this is a great place if you're just like, oh, I don't really know, what should I include in the introduction? You can find that out from there. So I like that. I'm surprised. I think we've used most of the Copilot capabilities, and you can really see how I've taken a basic unedited piece of work, and obviously I haven't done it all right here. It will take me a bit of time to do everything, but you can do everything from paraphrasing, trimming to cutting it down, making it sound more academic. You can generate outlines, you can generate titles, abstracts, keywords, summaries, aka conclusions. And you can even ask Paperpal to find out more academic information that will help you with the actual process itself and what to include. So it's a bit like having a friend or an academic supervisor that you can just be like, hey, can I ask you a question? And just get that information right there. I really enjoyed playing around with Paperpal and Copilot today, and if you do want to try it, then so do click on the description down below to access Paperpal and go and try it out for yourself. It's definitely one of my favorite platforms. I've used it so many times and I've recommended it to you guys so many times too. And also let me know if you enjoyed seeing me go more in depth into a tool and really seeing how I'd actually use it, as opposed to just kind of briefly giving you an overview. Then let me know and I'll do more of these in the future. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give me a huge thumbs up, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye.